Now, therefore, proclaim in the hearing of the people, saying, whoever is fearful and afraid, let him turn and depart at once from Mount Gilead. And 22,000 of the people returned, and 10,000 remained. Verse 4, but the Lord said to Gideon, the people are still too many. Okay, let's pause right here. This is so cool because Gideon, as we studied him the last few weeks, Gideon had an issue with what I will call, he felt super inadequate. Like he felt like I'm the least of the least, my tribe, and we talked about that 2 weeks ago. He had an issue with inadequacy and an issue with fear, and I don't blame him. And God said, oh, you feel inadequate. So I'm going to actually add inadequacy to your inadequacy. If I was God, that's not what I would do. If I'm dealing with someone that feels super inadequate, I'm going to make their army the biggest ever so I can artificially make them feel confident. So God says, you feel inadequate? Okay, I'm going to make you even feel more inadequate. Are you following me? This is what he's doing. He's like, Gideon's like, sweet, I got 32,000 men. I'm good to go. And God said, that's too many. And it's amazing, Gideon actually does what God said, which is tell the guys, anyone's afraid, just go home. I'm sure Gideon was like, oh, just a handful. Could you imagine being in that assembly? I mean, that's a lot of people. That's a third of the size of Reading. Meeting down in some field. All right, guys, if you're scared, and 22,000 guys head home. That is not good. That's bad. That whole God clothing me thing, I thought there was more to it than this. And then God says, hey, it's still too many. So he gives them a plan. He said, I want you to take these guys down to the water, and if they drink this way, then you keep them. If they drink this way, get rid of them. So he had 10,000, and he boiled down to 300 guys. This is not a good day. These are the worst headlines of hope for your nation right here. Could you imagine waking up that day, and the headline is, we have 300 guys in our army now. Against an army, which we find out later, that are innumerable. They can't count how many there are. Not even how many guys, warriors there are, but how many camels they have. That's a whole lot of camels. So if you can picture looking at all you see is camels and people, and you have 300. So you know Johnny woke up the next morning and said, honey, I just read on the paper there's 300 guys in our army. Would you book those tickets? We're getting out of here. You know how many people I bet started heading out of town? This is not a good scenario. So 32,000 down to 10,000, now down to 300. And God said, perfect, that's going to work. So God will sometimes actually make you feel more inadequate than you actually are in the moment. Why? Because he's building something in you.